Hello guys, I will try quickly to show you some basic things that you need to know about this game. I'm at level 44, so I'm assuming I quite have a hand of it, and I know what I'm talking about. First of all, the construction, the way you build your infrastructure here, how you protect yourself. You try to cover the most of the map, cover most of the space, so it will take longer for troops to get from one side and destroy things on the other side. That's a given. You don't want to leave any empty spaces, so if you click on the construction button, you'll see everything that's covered. Sometimes people leave one gap somewhere, so everybody will notice that, and it will be a trap. They will put their troops there, so I can do something like this. They will put their troops there, and lots of cannons, towers, everything will attack them. It's a nice approach. It doesn't work sometimes if people release something stronger that you weren't expecting. Trees that starts roaming from there. One tree will distract all of your cannons, towers, and then you are exposed, and it's a nice approach. You want to avoid that. This type of behavior, this type of structure is the most common one and the most effective one. You want to protect your castle as much as possible, because if it's destroyed, you lose your points, you lose the battle, and losing a battle takes away from your moral, those shields, moral, whatever they called. You need to accumulate them. First of all, you need to get to 500 points, and then you need to get to 1,000, and then 2,000. Whenever you get there, you get gems, and for gems you can buy either heroes or builders. Both are very important. More you have of each, faster you build, better you attack. Heroes are rather strong. You want to train them, you want them to be very successful. So that's one thing. Another approach, and for this purpose I actually asked an account of my friend. He has a different approach, and this is also a common approach, is sectional building. You build your infrastructure, you cover your map in sections. So if they penetrate one section, then they need to go through another wall, and then another wall, and another wall. Obviously, you need to be a certain level for this thing to work, because in the beginning, all the walls are very, very weak. Once you get to the higher levels and you get these kinds of walls, first thing that you upgrade is the joint section, okay, between a few sections. So because if they eliminate at this point, they get access to 2 more sections. So you want to, first thing that you upgrade is the joints, and then everything else. This approach is not bad, but it leaves exposed most of your resources. And if you are if you're running for resources, if you need resources to build, then this is not the best approach. Now, in terms of resources, upgrading your mines and upgrading your windmills is very much a waste of time. You don't build buildings from these just in the first few levels, but once you get over level 20, I think, they become completely useless. So there's no point really upgrading them unless you build everything else and there's nothing, because they don't accumulate enough resources. Even at the top levels, they don't produce fast enough. The resources for construction, for upgrades, for forge, research, you get that from battles, okay? There is 4 objectives in the battle. You have an objective to get moral, which requires that produces gems eventually. So to get to 1,000, and I think this account already got 1,000. Yeah, so it got 1,000, it got as far as 1,002. Next one is 2,000. It's really hard, and I don't think I'll even ever make it. I don't have time. But anyhow, to get moral, you need to, when you go to battle, and you search for battle, sorry buddy, you're probably going to lose. You're searching for something which is 26 or higher. The most I think you can get in the battle, I never seen more, is 28, okay? 28. Another type of battle, you're searching for resources. You're not focusing on this number, you're searching for resources. So, oh, this is nice. So, one of the mistakes, and I'll show you here, is 1, putting too many towers close together, and 2, putting them close to the fence. I'm going to destroy this guy, and I'm not even going to use half of the my troops. So this is guaranteed resources, guaranteed points, and also towards my victory for the artifact. So not having just few towers, it's very, very, very bad, and going to cause this guy a battle. Okay. As far as I played, I didn't play lots with dragons, and they're quite expensive and take forever to produce. But this configuration of a little bit of trolls and mostly mages is the best. And when you put too many towers very close to the edge, you see we destroy them instantly. We don't need to. We don't need too much energy and troops to destroy them. So here they are. They're already lost. All we need is to get 100% so we can get the points for the artifact. And we're going to focus on this side of the map now. Okay, the spiral was destroyed. I can release this guy. Hopefully he will make it. Still one standing. I was hoping it will be destroyed sooner. Come on, 7 seconds. Do your best. So because we didn't destroy 100%, we only got 26 points, which is not great. If you get below, if you get close to 50%, you get 13 points, which is not good. The timing is very... when it comes to artifacts, they give you very little time. It's really relatively hard to get an artifact. They typically, you require 1,000 points, and they give you 4.5 days. And each battle costs you about 39 points. So let me recharge this guy. And I think he follows my recommendation from before. You do 32 of trolls. They take all the heat from all the weapons. And mages, how much? 13 each? And mages go after them and destroy. This combination is actually the most adequate and the fastest one. You refill your army within an hour. Okay, I'll show you math in a second. He probably needs lots of back his spells. Now, the easy way to get lots of spells, lots of mana, you go on the web page, on the Facebook page, and post your name or search for everybody who is asking to be added for mana. And I know my friend doesn't care about his privacy, so mana is never an issue for this guy. I'm actually struggling a little bit because I only playing with my real friends. So this is one thing. So when it comes to the artifacts, timing is very important. If you go into birds, if you based on the fact that you have 400 unit points, it takes you 2 hours to refill with the birds and attack a player, which means you can do an average day only 9 attacks. 9 attacks gives you 10 attacks will give you 320 points. 320 points, assuming all victories are 100%. With birds, it's hard to get 100% all the time unless you have lots of mana. So this is not a safe path. With Vrovs, you can. They're shorter in terms of generating, so it's 100 minutes there also, but you need to upgrade them to the highest levels because otherwise they're being destroyed rather easily. So even though they're supposed to be good, they're not as successful as I hope them to be. The trees, the ant, they're not bad, but taking too long to generate them, so you will not win the artifact if you're only using them. But when you're using trolls and mages, you can refill your army within 61 minutes, which gives you on 18-hour day, 18 attacks. So 18, you pretty much can do an artifact in a day if you're rather successful, right? Well, not a day, day and a half, 2 days, 2 days max. So this is the best combination when it comes to getting an artifact. So when you're choosing a target, as I told you, upgrading your mines is kind of useless unless you have nothing else to do. You're focusing on two things, getting your moral or getting resources. And you start clicking to find the best amount of resources from your opponent. Sometimes you get lucky. The most I've seen is 2 million from of each, and you attack them. Sometimes you see people that they create, I don't know, like a trap configuration where the castle is on the outside. Let's see if I find one. And when the castle on the outside, I like to just attack them and collect some points towards my artifacts. I'll show you how easily it's done without losing anything. I'm getting a little bit of points. Okay, so the castle is outside. Castle has 1,000 of each resource, and it gives you a victory, and it gives points to my warrior. So here I am. I will destroy the castle and I'll end the battle. Okay, I don't care about the rest, it's just for example. Okay, I got my victory. I got points to my warrior. I got 13 towards my artifact. Easy. It's a trap, so if this guy actually retaliates, may get much more points from me, but I don't really care. I care about the artifact. So the sooner I get it, better for me. So don't leave your castles unattended. Protect them. Don't put your towers too close together, because as I showed you, with lots of mana, and it's easy to get them if you don't care about privacy, you can destroy up to 5, and I've seen some stupid setups where you can destroy even 6. So you destroy 6 cannons, 6 defense towers, there's no way you're going to protect your infrastructure. And I think I covered the most. Last tip, when it comes to spirals and upgrading them, check out the points. Okay, there is, for example, right now, this one does damage of 219 with all the upgrades and all the artifacts that I have. And if I'm going to upgrade it to the next level, I'm going to get 289. Okay, 289. And it will take me 5 days to upgrade it. Now, my current bird is actually 325. So, if it's 5 or 6, it still requires 2 hits to kill a single bird. So 5 and 6 effectively are exactly the same. The only difference, it has a little bit more life, which is insignificant in this case. Okay, but I will wait for 5 days to get it to the level 6, and it will give me 0 effect. Okay. Also, if I decide to attack with the birds, if I have nothing to do and I'll attack with the birds, I'll search for those which will take 2 hits to hit me. So based on the pattern, and you can go to the wiki and you see, okay, those which are stripes, they're 5, they're 193. Clear ones, they do so much damage, and the 7. Okay, 7 is a shorter one. I don't want to attack the 7 with my current level of birds. I'm going to wait until they upgrade. I showed you the math of the... I showed you the math of the upgrades. In terms of research, you're focused most of the things on the research. Your first choice is trolls. You want to make sure that they're at maximum level as soon as possible. Then the mages, and then you do whatever you want. That's pretty much everything else is wasteful. When it comes to dragons, eventually I'll give it a try. I don't know how long it takes to generate one. I'm pretty sure it's not effective. At least those that I accumulated for free, they're kind of useless. And they're very, very expensive. Soon I need to research something else in 3 hours. So this thing requires 3,000 bread. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to protect my bread, taking my windmills deeper into the structure, and my money will be closer to the outside, so to protect my bread as much as possible. If I need money, I do the other way around.
Now this is an interesting map, and I haven't seen anybody building something like this, so let's see what we can do with this guy. It's definitely an interesting approach. I think it is wasteful, but we're going to see. This is the first time I see something like that. Okay, so most of the buildings are destroyed. It's a nice try, to be honest. Definitely a good idea. It needs a little bit work.
But here it is. It's done. You see, I have almost 3 days left, and I already completed the artifact. So just to show you that my system works, this kind of approach does work. So keep this in mind. Hopefully this helps you. I got it. Come on. And now my buildings. A little bit more health. It's another hit, so it's actually really good. Does this apply to the walls as well? Yeah, that's actually very important. Applies to the walls. So plus 300 points. It will actually take a while to penetrate. So now I'm significantly safer. And pay attention how much resources I need. So it's almost 2,900,000 here. And I believe it takes me about 400 right now with all the research that I've done to my units to rebuild my army. So it takes 440,000 for me to rebuild my army. So whenever you're searching for an opponent, make sure that you're never getting into negative. Make sure that they have at least this bare minimum, which for me is almost 500,000 bread. So this is it. Have fun and enjoy the game.